Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have two wedding cards to share with you today. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's Just Married stamp set, along with their Stitched Oval dies, their Scalloped Oval dies, their Love and Laughter stamp set, their Fancy Wedding stamp set, their Gable Box dies, their Wine Tag dies, their Wedding Banner dies, and Jaded Blossom's Fancy Heart die, along with Echo Park's Wedding Pad, which is gorgeous. Now I went ahead and I pre-stamped that sentiment, and I pre-stamped that image along with the sentiment onto pink paper from that Echo Park wedding pad. And now I'm going to put some cards together, show you how to doll stuff up. So quickly, this is a piece of Paper Tray Ink fine linen cardstock, and it's cut at 4.25 inches by 11, scored at 5.5 inches to give you a vertical A2 sized card base. So now I am popping on some cheapo cardstock. This is Nina Solar Crest 80 pound in white. And I'm just going to add that to the center of each card, along with a 1-inch strip of paper from that wedding pad from Echo Park. So there we go. So we're just kind of dressing up the inside. And I'm going to do the same thing to both. I think one is 1 inch and one is like 3/4 of an inch. It was kind of the last of that paper, so I wanted to use that up. So there we are. So I'm popping them both in little card bases. And you'll notice that I'm working on my Stampin' Up! Pad as per usual. Just makes it easy to line stuff up. So there we go. I'm going to add a strip of HEG tape, and then I'm going to pop on my little strip of paper. I think that's like 3/4 of an inch wide. And I will cut off the overhang just with a pair of scissors. So I'm not really doing a lot of coloring in this video. I'm just showing you how to use stamps without doing a lot of coloring. Some people don't like to color, right? They like the image, but they don't want to do a lot of coloring with it, and that's what I'm going to do on this card. So now I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the inside of this card base. I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and the sentiment that I'm stamping on the inside of both is wishing you a lifetime of love and happiness. So it's perfect as a wedding card. And it's always good to have some of these in your stash. And I'm using my Misty, just so you don't make any mistakes. You can restamp it if you have to. And remember, don't push too hard. You don't want to squash the letters. You're better off to, stamp it lightly a couple of times than, push hard. So there we go. So now I'm using our card mat dies too. I forgot to have that on the list. So I cut out some paper from that wedding pad again, with our card mat dies. All the die cutting today was done with my Gemini machine. There we go. So isn't that cute? So I'm just going to layer that onto black American Crafts cardstock, just 1/8 of an inch larger. So that, the card mat die is like 4 by 4 1/4. And then the American Crafts black cardstock is just 1/8 of an inch larger. And then you'll get 1/8 of an inch border on your A2 size card base. So there we go. I chose that fine linen Paper Tray Ink cardstock to go with the paper, because there's kind of like a creamy colored pattern, like those little love bugs have like little creamy love bugs in there. So I thought it went well. And then there's writing on this one that has writing all over it that kind of matches. So that's what I was going for. And then this is just using the card mat dies again. I'm sticking them down with my HEG tape. And I went ahead and I cut the Wine Tag die out of paper from that same Echo Park wedding pad. So I'm just going to layer them up. So I love the stitching on this Wine Tag. And it's great to go on a card. You could use it as a wine tag too, but I love to use it on a card. You could stick it on a bottle of pop if you want, right? Anything you want, anything that comes in a bottle. Or even stick it on a gift basket, that works. So I'm just lining that up and sort of like into the center of the design. And you'll notice that my stamped sentiment, the one with the sentiment on front of it, wishing you love and laughter and happily ever after, that came from I think it was called the Love and Laughter stamp set. And I already stamped that with my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink using my Misty onto a piece of paper that was cut out using the Gable Box dies, that front layer. It fits perfectly. And then I stamped it out again onto darker pink, and I just cut out the little hearts, just so the hearts are contrasting, or a little bit like in the darker pink. And you'll notice that I used a Memento Tuxedo black marker just to ink around the edge, just because it sort of hides, you know, any imperfections in doing that fussy cutting. So I'm just going to stick these down onto my background using art glitter glue. And try not to use too much. It did come out a little bit, but you know, you do your best. And I'm just going to stick them down. I just think it makes it look a lot better. And everything matches, right? Which is always awesome. And then I'll pop that last piece on. So remember to, you know, run your black marker around the edge. I use my Memento Tuxedo black to do that. So now I'm going to stick down that little sentiment that's on the Gable Box die onto a piece of glitter paper from Recollections 12-inch special material Valentine's paper. It's just glitter, you know, glitter paper that matches what I had going on. So that's why I chose that. So I'm just trying to line it up using my HEG tape. I do add a little bit of glitter glue after I get it lined up, you know, just to make sure it's going to stay. Because, you know, when you're sticking onto glitter, it's kind of a toss-up. Okay, so now this is the other main image. So what I did was I stamped it onto the pattern paper, then I cut it out with the oval die, and then the stitched oval die, and then you'll see the scalloped oval was cut out of that paper from that pad again also. There we go. And I did use a Secure white Jelly Roll pen in a number 10 just to add some white details to that image. But that's all the coloring that I did. I just used that, you know, white gel pen. You'll notice that I did stamp congratulations in that little banner on the back of the car, and that comes in the stamp set as well, using my Misty to line it up. There we go. Now that is cut out of that same glitter paper from Recollections, the 12-inch special material Valentine's Day pad, and that is from the wedding banner dies. And I did cut one of those heart banners out for both cards. Tripping over my words here. Using my art glitter glue to stick that down. Just add a little bit of sparkle, right? It is a wedding card. And then I will weigh that down with an acrylic block. You'll notice that my other image had the acrylic block on it just for those little hearts. So there we go. So now I'm just going to get things settled on this card, trying to decide where things go. And then I will layer this up. So I love making wedding cards and having them in my stash ready to go. Also, if you wanted, you could easily personalize this by making it match whatever the color theme is for the wedding you're going to. So you could easily do that too. But these ones I'm just going to have in my stash. So, you know, I just chose to go with the colors in the pad. But like I said, you could easily make it match whatever you're going for. There we go. And Jaded Blossom has such beautiful stamp sets. I love all of their, you know, their sentiments and the fonts. They're beautiful. And these neat little tag stamp sets, you know, they have them for all occasions. It's neat that a lot of their dies will cut them out perfectly, just like this Gable Box die front. Okay, so now I'm trimming off the overhang of that banner, just with a pair of scissors. You saw that I weighted it down just to make sure that the glue stuck well. There we go. And I'll do the same thing for this one. And like I said, like super easy peasy wedding cards, right? So there we are. So now I cut out that fancy heart die in that same pink sparkle paper or glitter paper, whatever you want to call it. And I use a bamboo skewer to punch out our dies. I just find it's a little bit easier on the die cut, and you don't get any tearing or holes. And I'm going to use these as little decorations on my cards. So I'm going to pop them up with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. Those are the little mini ones. And I will use my reverse tweezers just to keep my hands out of the way and get everything popped up. So there we go. So I don't know, I think it adds a little something. A few little hearts for, you know, a little bit of love for a wedding card. And there we go. And this just kind of goes to show you, you don't have to do coloring on a card with an image. Now this is a really cute image and it would be great colored, but you know what? You don't have to. You can stamp an image and just sort of accent a few things. I did go ahead and add some glossy accents to those two taillights and those little roses in her hair later. But you know, you don't have to. Oh, here I am adding the glossy accents. So I'm going to add some glossy accents to one of those hearts in the upper right-hand corner, and then I'll add the glossy accents to the other two. I just think it adds, you know, a little bit of shine and makes it a little, you know, look a little more dimensional. There we go. I'll just pop out any bubbles. Although it doesn't have to be perfect, right? This is a handmade card, people. Look, doesn't it add some nice shine? I love that. And then on this one, like I said, I'm going to add some of those glossy accents. I'm just going to add a few little drips to those little roses in her hair. They're not even colored, but I'm adding just a little bit of shine. There we go. And then I'm going to add some just to the top of those tail lights, just for, like I said, a little bit more shine. But you know, it's not another color, so it's not making anything more busy. But I think, you know, it does add a little bit of something. So there we go. So now I'm going to get those little hearts finished. I'm going to add one to the center above each, you know, sentiment on the inside. Just, you know, I have a bunch left over. Why not, right? Makes the inside a little bit more special. So I'm just going to add a little heart to the center above that sentiment. Wishing you a lifetime of love and happiness. And I love the fonts that Jaded Blossom used on this set. It's just beautiful. There we go. Isn't that cute? Just so cute. So now I'm pulling out Pretty Pink Posh Marshmallow Confetti Mix. And I'm going to add those to my card base using my art glitter glue. And I'm just going to add, you know, an odd number, kind of sprinkle them diagonally, right? Kind of draws the eye, moves the eye around. And like I said, like odd number is what I go for. Kind of straddling the image or the sentiment, you know, drawing your eye around. I like that this comes in 3 different sizes, so that's perfect. And I'm using my Studio Katia and embellishment wand just to pick everything up. Isn't that cute? I just love that. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Add a few of those marshmallow confetti. There we go. They're just like the sparkling clear, which I use a lot, but they're opaque and they've got kind of like a marshmallowy, you know, shiny look to them. They're beautiful. There we are, and I'm just going to add them again with my Studio Katia embellishment wand and get everything all decorated up. See, so it's a pretty simple wedding card, really. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog to get inspired, the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these beautiful products. And thank you as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we will see you soon in my next one. Bye everyone.